Hello, my name is Rebecca Lynch, and I am the Development Director for Arts AVL. I'm going to provide an overview of the Arts Build Community Grant. Now in its 7th year, the Arts Build Community Grant supports innovative arts-based projects that inspire diverse groups of participants to be more active, involved, and civically engaged by creating together. This can take many forms. It could be an after-school program, a neighborhood mural, a documentary film project, or a festival event. Get creative. The arts must be central to the project, and it must bring together diverse groups of community members. This year, Buncombe County government is again providing significant funding support for this grant through an Arts and Culture Block Grant awarded to Arts AVL. This is part of the funding for the grant, but not all. We are extremely grateful to Buncombe County for providing this funding. Grants for fiscal year 24 will range from $1,000 to $2,500, and the deadline to apply is June 15th, 2023. Now about the timeline. May 1st, the application opens. June 15th is the application deadline. When the application closes, we will not be accepting applications after June 15th. We then move into the selection panel and review process, which we hope to have completed by early July when we will announce awards. We then hope to have funds distributed by late July, early August. And the other very important date to remember is that we will require a final report by June 30th, 2024. This will be a very simple report. We will simply want to know how the funds were used and what kind of impact the project had. Now on to eligibility. Organizations must have been in operation for at least 1 year to apply and be physically located in Buncombe County. Since this is a community project, we hope there will be multiple project partners, and you will have an opportunity in the application to share those. Priority is given to projects based in low-income neighborhoods and communities in need. The arts must be centered in the proposed project. This funding cycle is for fiscal year 2024, which for us is July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. This means projects must take place within that time period. This can be a reimbursement for projects occurring during this funding period that have already taken place, or for projects that have not yet occurred. Projects must be completed by June 30th, 2024. Allowable expenses include things like professional artist fees and travel, space rental, advertising, marketing and publicity, website and electronic media, art supplies, costumes, sets and props, music, and equipment rental. For our evaluation considerations, these are the areas our selection panel will be looking at. The completeness of the application. Do we have all the information we need? Feasibility of completion. How likely is this project to be successfully completed within the time frame? Accessibility, arts and culture alignment, and impact on underserved communities. Now, we are going to go through each of these in a little more detail. Applications are initially screened by Arts AVL staff for completeness, eligibility, and feasibility. Arts AVL staff will determine if the application needs more information or is good to go for review by the selection panel. If no additional information is required, the application receives 10 points. If we have to reach out to request more information for more clarity, the application receives 5 points. If we do reach out and we do not hear back or do not receive additional information, that would be a score of 0 points. Eligibility of requests. We need to make sure everything is eligible for funding. Is the organization in Buncombe County? Are the expenses allowable expenses? If all of the request is eligible, then you receive 10 points. If part of the request is eligible, 5 points, and then 0 if nothing is eligible for funding. Feasibility of completion within time restrictions. 10 points if we feel confident the project will be completed by June 20th, 2024. 5 points if we will need to work with the applicant to ensure the project is completed, and 0 points if we feel the project won't be completed in time. Applications receiving a 0 on any of these categories or a total score below 15 will not progress to the next level. The selection panel will then score all applications based on the following criteria. They will score applications individually, and then the scores will be combined, and then the panel will meet as a group to review the application and scores together. First, they'll be looking at application completeness. Do they feel like they have a good understanding of the proposal based on the application, or is it missing key details? Hopefully, it has gone through the earlier Arts AVL staff review and is looking good at this point, but this is up to the selection committee. Feasibility. How confident are they in the ability of the organization to complete the proposal, considering the scope, the time restrictions? Remember, this must be completed between July 1st, 2023 and June 30th, 2024, and other resources needed for successful completion. Accessibility. How accessible is the proposed project for individuals with disabilities, including physical, visual, hearing, and cognitive impairment? We are asking you to please share your accessibility statement and demonstrate how the location where your program or service takes place, including online spaces, is or will be accessible for individuals with disabilities. And there is more information linked here through the National Endowment for the Arts Accessibility Checklist. We want to make sure the project is accessible, but we know we were all working towards this and understand that this could be a big ask for many small organizations. We want to help you make your project as accessible as possible, but we do not want this to be a limiting factor to getting your project done. Some tips to think about. Accommodation should be easy to find and clearly state whether notice is required. You should also include contact information if folks have any questions. And some examples of accessibility include accessible parking, restrooms, accessible seating, captioning, assisted listening devices, and so forth. Arts and cultural alignment. As we have mentioned several times, it is very important that arts are centered in this proposal. The application that directly relates to this is how are arts and culture a core aspect of this program. And the final criteria is impact on underserved communities. How much does this program impact residents based in low-income neighborhoods and or local communities in need? And the opportunity you'll have to speak to this is an application question. Please explain if or how your program aligns with one or more of the above priority focus areas. My apologies there for the slide advance. The selection process is a panel of 3 to 5 volunteers is selected to review the applications and make final funding recommendations. Panelists review and score each application using a scoring spreadsheet provided by Arts AVL. Scores are then combined and ranked by Arts AVL staff. Then a joint meeting of all panelists is then held to review the combined scores, discuss applications, and create a list of final funding recommendations. The applicant's combined scores, as well as any additional notes and feedback, will be given to the applicant with their award notification letter. Grant requirements. If you were to receive an award, your organization will enter into a contractual agreement with Arts AVL. You will be expected to keep Arts AVL staff informed of project milestones and or any changes as you do your project. We are invested in your success and would like to be a part of sharing your story. Your organization will have to complete a final report by June 30th, 2024. This will be a simple online form. An important thing to note, late final reports means no funding for the next grant cycle. You will also need to demonstrate recognition of Arts AVL and Buncombe County government for their support. And you'll need to send an email or letter to Buncombe County commissioners to express your thanks for providing funding for this grant. Now to apply, go to artsavl.org/ABC and click on the Google Forms link. The application looks like this. Now, if you need any help with your application or have specific questions, feel free to email me at rebecca@artsavl.org. Please, no phone calls. I'm happy to have you email me and we'll set up an appointment to talk. Thank you so much and good luck with your application. We look forward to learning about your project.